Hi, welcome to Korero Solutions YouTube channel. Today I want to talk to you about becoming a new manager. Whether you've just recently been promoted within your organization or you're new to the organization, what would be some of the tips and tricks that I would tell you in order to start your road to success with your new team? So the first tip I would give is to host just a casual meeting with all of your team and get to know them on a more personal level. What are different things that inspire your team members? What are they passionate about? What motivates them to come to work every day? If they won $1 million, where would they travel to, or what would they do with it? And also be open to answering their questions about who you are and what you're passionate about. What are some of your hobbies? The more that you can start to make those human connections with your team members, the more you start to build the foundation of a very strong and effective team. By creating the great foundation for team members, it's kind of hard that when a conflict arises or a challenge comes up, if I think, wow, I really like that person, it makes it harder for me to think of that they did something with a negative connotation to it. So a lot of times we jump to somebody did something intentionally to harm us, but the more we know that person as a person, the less we will go to that thought. The easier it is for me to go up to them and say, hey, the other day when this happened, what was going on for you? It seems that you were kind of out of sorts on something. And we can have that conversation. The less I know somebody, the more I have to impart what I feel that their intention was behind it. And for some reason, whatever that reason is, our minds seem to go to a negative thought before we ever replace that with that there was something positive that they were trying to do behind it. So first meeting, have the meeting, talk to your staff, get to know them on a personal level, get to know, what's inspiring them, and then go forward from there. The second tip I would say, is to let them know what your purpose is as becoming their manager. What do you feel is your role within that team environment as the manager of this team? So if your role is to help them to become successful and being the best employee they can be, then that's what you convey to them. If you're there to help look at the roadblocks and challenges that they're experiencing, and then see what you can do within your mandate, within the parameters you're given as a manager to help remove some of those roadblocks, and to let them know that that they are bringing a wealth of experience and knowledge that you find is invaluable because that's something that you're going to rely on their expertise to help you out with. So looking at letting them know your expectations from them as team members to work together in a collaborative way, and then what they can look to you as their manager for, that's what's going to help start building that working relationship between yourself and your team. Now, if we can just take a quick minute, and if you can click and like and subscribe below, we'll get on to tip number 3. So tip number 3 would be to start setting a format to have a meeting with your staff. So you want to meet with them on a one-on-one basis so that you can go over expectations, tasks, challenges, roadblocks that they feel that they're experiencing. But first you want to set, what does the format of that meeting look like? My recommendation is to let the staff know right away that you're open to have conversations, but you'd also like to ensure that they respect the time that you have and the amount of meetings and projects that you have on the go. So the first way to do that is if they do have something that they want to talk to you about, to approach you either in person or by email and request a time that works for both of you. The reason I say this is because if you've got staff running into your office and saying, can I meet with you right now? I've got something important to talk to you about. And meanwhile, you've got a meeting that you've got to be at in 15 minutes. Your ability to be able to have an open and honest conversation, to be able to listen and to be able to look at problem solving is going to be quite rushed. And although you may want to hear what they have to say right away, may not be the best time to have it. So if you let them know this afternoon at 2 o'clock, I'm open for an hour, we can meet in the boardroom, meaning now you're going to meet in a place that doesn't have that power dynamic as to manager-employee. It's going to be more a neutral zone. It's going to be private, that you're not going to be compelled to look at your computer. Nobody's going to be knocking at your door. You're going to be someplace that you can have this uninterrupted, open and honest conversation, and you can spend the time listening to what they have to say without the interruptions that you'll get within your office environment. So by setting those parameters around anybody coming in to request a meeting is going to start the whole expectation and understanding of your role as their new manager off on a good foot, specific understanding with all the staff, and it also lets them know that you're there for them to look at, look at and listen to whatever they have as concerns. So again, in summary, what I'd like to say is get to know your team's strengths and weaknesses before you make any changes to any of the processes that are going. Let them know that you're there as a resource for them, not just somebody to dictate and watch, what time is stop and start time. Listen for the roadblocks. Thanks for watching the Korero Solutions YouTube. Look forward to seeing you in future videos.